Wow. Yo, Tyrese is really out here talking about the devil and exposing Hollywood for being demonic. I never thought I would see this day. I saw this clip on TikTok and I quickly went to YouTube to watch the entire interview. So just to give you some context, Tyrese, so singer, actor, entertainer, y'all know who Tyrese is, I'm assuming, right? He's doing interviews because Fast and the Furious 10 is coming out, and I don't even know how we even got here. Why do we have 10 Fast and the Furious movies? That is just another question for another day. I'm still trying to figure that out. But he's doing interviews. He went on this very popular radio show called Big Boy in the Morning, and he started talking about the devil and Jesus Christ, and he started to share his testimony. And I want to really share this with y'all because I just thought this was really cool, and I want to know what y'all think about this. So he's going to talk about his testimony of how he actually got the Fast and the Furious role in the first place. But then y'all need to stick around and y'all need to make sure that you watch this entire video, because then he starts talking about the devil in Hollywood, and he really starts to expose some things. And something happens as soon as he starts talking about the devil in Hollywood. Something very, very, very interesting happens, and you have to watch to be able to find out what it is. But y'all, I don't think I've said this in a few videos, but make sure you pray today. Make sure you spend time with God. Make sure you read your Bible. Make sure you spend intimate time with your Father in heaven. Make sure that he knows you. All right. That's the most important thing. So like this video before we get into it. Subscribe if you have not already. Let's go.
It's true. So I did. I don't know how much time I got because I really want people to know this because they'll be encouraged by it. So John Singleton for 7 years, rest in peace, West Coast legend. At least 7 years, and Ice Cube can tell the same story. When John locks in on you and feels like you are the guy and you got next, he tends to look at what we doing in music, and then he'll have his favorites and say, you the one. So for years, he literally stalked Ice Cube and would not let up until he finally got him to say yes to doing Boys in the Hood. Same thing happened with me. I was working at MTV as a VJ at the time in New York, and before that, he kept running into me. I'm going to put you in movies. I'm going to make you a movie star. You a star. You got it. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You know, it's kind of like how you was on the road with Farside, and then the opportunity to host radio, as you shared. You kind of struggle between, like, do I let that go to go into something that I never seen coming and never asked for, never desired it? I don't study people in radio because I want to do radio. So when God bless you by default, it's one of those things where you're here, and sometimes you can find yourself struggling with the gift because it's nothing that was ever in your plans. So that was me, singing, finally singing, Sweet Lady, lately, first album, touring, parties, women, girls, on the road. And I was like experiencing the glass slipper. Right? And my career, for me as a singer, finally, it felt like a rental car. It was hard for me to own the blessing when in my mind I never had it before then. So what makes me think or believe that it's going to become anything else beyond this moment? Right? So the 5 minutes of fame in my mind was in the cards.
Wow.
Like, that's it. So now, 25 years later, as I look at my life, and it reminds me of you, especially after the story you just told, we wake up every day and we still can't believe our life.
Yeah, man.
And we're in disbelief, and we're so grateful to still be here because nothing about the plan or the idea of the visions or what we envisioned for our life included this.
Right.
And yet it's still here. So I had to get out of the headspace that my life and my temporary career is a rental car, and I had to figure out a way to own the blessing. Because when you own it, you negotiate different. When you own it, you protect your wife and your family, and you don't allow everything and everybody to get access to you. Because now when it belongs to everybody, because it's a rental, you let them get in your car with strawberry soda and mud on their feet, messing up the carpet because you don't care. It's fleeting. It's like the high of being in a limousine for your prom. At some point, whatever you wearing, whatever I'm wearing, this outfit has to go back. The limousine is going back. So your brain doesn't arrive at owning the blessing because it feels like it's fleeting and it's going to go away. So imagine John Singleton, you're going to act. I'm looking at him like, dude, first of all, if you think I'm about to let my 5 minutes of fame and all the success that I'm suddenly having in music go off and chase something that I'd never seen coming. Now, I've been funny. Everybody know I'm funny. I love attention. Always had the biggest personality in every room. But what's that got to do with movies? But John had the vision, and he's seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. And most people that know him would say the same thing. So I go from finally telling him yes to doing Baby Boy, but it was after I had to change my number because he was calling me multiple times a week.
Did you change it? Like, I'm changing it because of John Singleton, or was it just around that time?
No, I had to change my number because John Singleton kept calling me, telling me that he wants me to be in movies, and he was shooting Shaft at the time.
Right.
In New York, where I was doing MTV Jams in New York. And so he's got a little more aggressive, and I think that the role that Busta Rhymes played in Shaft is what he wanted me to do.
Oh.
Right? So I told him no, and told him no again, and then I ultimately changed my number because I actually started running out of excuses of what I can say to him to get him to understand that I don't even know what that is, and I'm more afraid of that because I never had that in mind. So to go from, then I finally said yes to Baby Boy after I watched the film The Hurricane with Denzel Washington.
Yes, sir.
And after I seen The Hurricane, I finally said yes to a film called Baby Boy. And Baby Boy was written for Tupac. And once Pac passed and died in Vegas, tragically, John was so devastated that he put the Baby Boy script on the cabinet. He shelved it. He was like, no one's going to do this. I literally wrote this. Jody is Pac. And since he's gone now, I can't do nothing with that movie until he met me.
Wow.
And
did he share that with you beforehand?
He did.
Does that put a pressure on you?
Of course it did.
Wow.
This is why Tupac's mural was in my bedroom.
Gotcha. At the house.
Yeah. So he was like, well, you were supposed to be in this movie. You were supposed to be Jody. But because you're not here anymore, I'm going to put as many songs in the movie of Pac.
Gotcha.
And he's going to have the mural behind my bed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Jody was supposed to be Tupac.
So when you do something that's like a classic, like Baby Boy.
All right, look. He's explaining the process of how he went from Baby Boy, which is his first movie, to ultimately being in Fast and the Furious. So he's explaining this process, and he's explaining his testimony of how this all happened. Hang in there, because there's going to become a moment where things start to shift and the conversation shifts, and we get onto a very spiritual topic. All right, so hang in there, but just listen to this part just so you understand the context before he gets into that spiritual conversation.
And then how does Hollywood recognize you even more when we start thinking about franchises like Transformers? And
So Baby Boy happened. Denzel Washington, I've told him this story. I said, man, when I seen The Hurricane, everything that John Singleton, rest in peace, was trying to get me to see and realize, I never seen it or realized it until I seen his performance in The Hurricane. So I had my VCR, and I was pressing pause. And everything that Denzel was doing, all of his dialogue, when he was in the hole and he had all his beard growing out, he looked crazy. I was literally in my living room reenacting everything that Denzel was doing in my living room.
Had you taken any acting lessons?
Nothing.
So these were like acting lessons.
That was my acting class.
Wow.
I already had no conscience, right? So
right.
that was the start. I was like, there is no such thing as me walking into a room, cracking a joke, and being the center of attention everywhere I go and don't care what people think. So I was already there,
Gotcha.
like used to being, the challenge with most people who are trying to act is the first thing is they're very in their head and very self-conscious, like, what are they thinking about me? Is this corny? Is this believable? I was past that, right? And so after we did Baby Boy, here's a full circle God moment. Denzel was about to direct his first film, the Antoine Fisher story. And everybody was buzzing about my performance in Baby Boy before it was released. The first phone call, swear on Jesus, first phone call was somebody asking, can I get a private print of Baby Boy before it's released, came in from Denzel Washington.
Wow.
He called John, and then John was like, yo, come to my office. Came to the office, and I'm like, what's going on? I told you you was a star. I told you. He's like, guess who just called me, N-word? And I said, what? He said, Denzel Washington. I said, what do you mean? I said, for what?
Yeah, man.
It's like, right, and he's like, he's about to make his directorial debut, the Antoine Fisher story, and he heard everybody's talking about your performance who's seen the movie, and he wants to see your movie. He wants me to send him the print of Baby Boy to his house. He wants to see it because he's got you in mind for Antoine Fisher, and the rest is history.
Man.
But that movie, Baby Boy, got passed on to some executives at Universal. I have no idea how Baby Boy and Fast and the Furious has anything to do with each other.
Man,
but
and
at the time,
but that's
like
all
God.
It's God. Yeah.
It's all God, right? Because, we should, as believers, we should go the rest of our life trying to figure out God. That should be an everlasting hunt.
I wasn't expecting to hear that. Because I'm watching this interview and I'm kind of thinking, okay, I understand what he's saying. You know, he feels as if God blessed him to be in that position, to be in Hollywood and to have this career and to be in entertainment. Okay, that's fine. I think God can use people in different careers and different avenues of this world in order to make an impact. Okay, that's fine. But then when he said this, let me run this back. And this is not even the real part that I wanted to show y'all, but I was just surprised that he even said that in the first place.
Boy got passed on to some executives at Universal. I have no idea how Baby Boy and Fast and the Furious has anything to do with each other.
Man,
but at the time,
but
that's all God.
God. Yeah.
It's all God, right? Because, you know, we should, as believers, we should go the rest of our life trying to figure out God. That should be an everlasting hunt.
We should go the rest of our lives trying to figure out God. That should be an everlasting hunt. So at this point in the interview, this is when it starts to get even more and more spiritual. And it gets to the part where he starts talking about the devil in Hollywood. All right? So hang in there.
Mm-hmm. Like, what, how did I get to here? And man, I was at the gas station and I was just thinking about my auntie and my cousin was there. And, you know, whatever those coincidences are, that's been my life. And that's what keeps me curious about what God has next.
Yeah, what's next?
My eyes is like a 3-year-old, just curious, like Christmas, like, you know. So Baby Boy is out. And then Vin Diesel, okay, who I love. Did not know him at the time, but they had did part 1.
Mm-hmm. Did you see part 1 in the theater? You never seen?
Never. Okay. I've never seen part 1 to this day.
Okay.
To this day?
To this day?
No,
wow.
to this day. To this day. And that's no disrespect.
Right.
So what happened was, and I'm going to tell you why, right? And because John Singleton gave me that advice. So fast forward, Baby Boy happens, and then Vin and the studio at the time got heavy in negotiations, and they could not make a deal for Vin and the director to come back to do part 2. So then that's when the opportunity for me to slide in and do Too Fast, Too Furious opposite Paul Walker presented itself. And I was like, you know, I'm not going to mention what they were negotiating, but it was a real number. He went from that number trying to get that number, and the studio and him just fell apart. And then the opportunity for me to slide in to that happened because
was
they couldn't
Vin
make
in 2?
No, sir.
Whoa!
I remember
I forgot about that.
It was me and Paul Walker, and then
y'all saved the franchise. No, just
no. There wouldn't
Call
be
it
no
like
franchise.
it is.
There wouldn't be no franchise
Without you.
No, if they didn't start it.
Okay, yeah,
we
that's true.
came in for part 2.
All right,
we all
sorry.
did our job, you know. So this is the other full circle moment. While I was in the meeting, this is me, Big. Like, you got to remember, I'm looking like I don't know how I got here.
Right.
And if you start asking me questions, I'm going to look at you because whatever opinion I may have, like, it's very clear I don't matter. I just got here. So as I'm in the meeting after they said we want to cast you to be opposite Paul Walker, I'm like, wow, right? So I'm going to put this out there. I got $150,000 for Baby Boy, and I think I got $1.3 million for Too Fast, Too Furious. I had never seen $150,000 in my life.
Right, yeah.
And so to go from that movie number 1 to that movie number 2, it was cracking.
Yeah, hell yeah,
it was all the way cracking.
You looking at the comments and like,
what
okay,
what's this?
Yeah.
Right? So now, Baby Boy gets me in this bigger room called Too Fast, Too Furious, opposite Paul Walker. Now here's the full circle moment. I'm in the meeting. There's 3 people in there. And they said, what do you think about John Singleton? I said, what do you mean?
Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, you think he can direct something like this? I said, yeah, he can direct something. Like, John can direct anything. I'm now his best salesperson in a room when every word that's being put on my, everything I'm saying, I'm like, I just got here. I don't know how to pitch you into having John to direct anything. I don't know how to words. I just got here. I don't know how to talk you
I don't
into
know this
anything.
language.
I don't know this language. I'm about to say, man, that's the homie.
Yeah, that's
that's my N-word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, you man, hey man, we both on the hood, man.
Hold on, let me chirp him right now. John, hold on, homie. Hey, Ninja, listen to him. Nah.
Just bought some Chuck Taylor and Dickies last week.
Yeah.
I was just at his crib with the barbecue, me and my man. I was like, man, I could really mess this pitch up because I don't know what I'm saying or doing, and I don't know that what I'm here to say is going to talk them into saying yes to John.
Right.
They said yes.
So he's basically saying the director that got him into the industry in the first place, John Singleton, John Singleton was the person that put him in the role, in his very first role that gave him his big break in movies. And now he's saying it came full circle because that director, John Singleton, he actually helped John Singleton direct Too Fast, Too Furious, which was his second movie. And so he's basically saying it all came full circle. Hang in there. I know it's a long story, but just hang in there. He's going to get to the part that I want to show you, all right?
My first movie, John put me on. John Singleton directed me and Paul Walker in Too Fast, Too Furious.
You can't write that, bro.
No way.
Yeah. If that was the script, people be like, oh, man, it was real until it got to this part.
Yeah.
Like, I got fake right here.
So as you can imagine, Too Fast, Too Furious, and then John put Ludacris in Too Fast, Too Furious as well. So now the Roman and Tej duo started there. Now we 20 years into it.
Visionary, bro.
And so as you can imagine, the overwhelming feeling like, wow, you know, no John Singleton, no Paul Walker, and I'm still here. And just kind of like, you know, not feeling like, man, is something going to happen to me next? That's not the feeling. It's the pressure of, I got to make them proud.
Right.
I got to do whatever it takes to keep Van up, to keep the Walkers up, his daughter, Cody. That's why I'm running around doing Fuel Fest. Like, you know, it's like, yo, whatever I could do to make sure that we keep each other up. John Singleton's son, his seventh child, he named Seven, is best friends with my daughter, Soraya.
Damn.
They're doing play dates at least 3 days a week in Atlanta. So it's a tribe. And I'm looking as a person who is overwhelmed with what God has decided to put me in and has done over my life. Even when I've went above and beyond to mess it up myself, God says, I still got you.
I love it.
And that's what allows for me at 44 years old to still feel like I'm a 3-year-old who's experiencing Christmas every single day, what I drive, where I go, the people I get to meet, the relationships that I still have over all these years, the laughter that is still in my soul, even though I got every reason in the world to sometimes be depressed and sad and emotionally and psychologically wiped out.
Right.
Look at my life, bro. I'm on my way. I got Kim Burrell.
Yes, man. You know, I used to write for her too, right?
You used to write for her. I love that.
Yeah, man. We share a lot of the gospel opinion come from me.
Wow, got you. So we got Kim Burrell.
And Kim was like, "You going to hell, son?" You should stop. Kim was like,
stop right
she was like, "I don't know if the Lord know you playing. Are you serious? Like, you know, I don't know if these jokes are lies, baby." You know what I'm saying?
God will send you the desires of your heart.
I hear you, brother.
Right? Imagine being a motherless child, you know.
Yeah, man.
Intimately.
Yes, sir.
And then God says, I know what you desire, and I'm going to send you your mother via Kim Burrell.
I love it.
And the talks and the laughter and the bonding and the conversation, that was never there. Now, people know I didn't have the best relationship with my mom. So as a son, I was loaning for the relationship to be better while she was still here.
Yes, sir.
So I really started loaning for that relationship once she transitioned. So God will send you all of the desires of your heart. And that is something that I want everybody who can hear this interview to know. As much as I'm supposed to be promoting this movie and talking about my album, this
is the part right here.
Feel like we're in competition right now because they are trying to normalize the devil. They are trying to the devil is on the main stage at award shows and in every video and signs and symbols. And I said, you know what? We need to stop treating our relationship with Jesus like the little buddy that you talk to before you go to bed at night and not be more vocal about all the things that God means to us and all of the things that God has brought us through. Because there's been a lot of moments that you didn't post about, but yet you know, how did God decide to get me through this?
Yeah, man.
Amen.
And yeah, they going above and beyond to promote the devil. And it's pissing me off because the devil worshipers used to be real secretive, going down in the basement, this secret world. Now they
they on the device too. Yeah, believe that. Yeah. I do want to come back and I want to talk to you about Fast 10.
You see how fast he switched the subject? Did you see how fast he switched the subject? Hold on, look.
Much as I'm supposed to be promoting this movie and talking about my album, I just feel like we're in competition right now. Because they are trying to normalize the devil. They are trying to the devil is on the main stage at award shows and in every video and signs and symbols. And I said, you know what? We need to stop treating our relationship with Jesus like the little buddy that you talk to before you go to bed at night and not be more vocal about all the things that God means to us and all of the things that God has brought us through. Because there's been a lot of moments that you didn't post about. But yet you know, how did God decide to get me through this?
Yeah, man.
And yeah, they going above and beyond to promote the devil. And it's pissing me off because the devil worshippers used to be real secretive, going down in the basement, this secret world. Now they just
they on the device too.
Yeah,
Believe that. Yeah. I do want to come back and I want to talk to you about fast.
You see how fast he switched it? He said, "Yeah, I believe that. Them devil worshippers, they go crazy." I do want to come back and talk about this movie though, because that's the reason you're here. We don't really care about all that devil stuff. Keep it low. Keep that devil stuff low. Let's talk about the movie. Yo, okay. I want to show you this last part too. Let me pull this up though. But that's so true what he was saying. And regardless of what you think, about Tyrese and what he's done before, the projects that he's been a part of before and stuff like that, you can't deny what he's saying right there is facts. The devil is so bold right now, and people are so filled with pride to show how disobedient they are against God. And it's the number one thing that's being promoted right now. I don't think we've ever seen a time where the devil has been on mainstream stages as much as today. I could be wrong. I'm still fairly young, so I don't really know all of the history and all of the dark and demonic stuff that's been going on in the music industry. But from what I've seen in entertainment and music and media and in children's shows and social media and everything, the devil is on the forefront, and we need to be vocal. Just like Tyrese was saying, we need to be vocal about our relationship with God, because the people who worship the devil, they're vocal about their relationship with the devil. So why can't we be vocal about Jesus Christ? But let me show you this last part right here. I think it's 36. I'm gonna put it like right here. All right, let's get back to it.
Right now?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
but I'm sure he arranged the neighborhood, put a couple houses, and done a couple things. Hey, Big, if you don't mind, man, because so many people in the city that we love and be loved by is carrying a lot. And like when we talk about the devil, seem to be way more popular than the relationship with Christ. If it's possible, man, can I just close this interview out with a prayer from Mama Kim Burrell to bless the city?
Brother,
if
please.
y'all don't mind that.
Hey, brother, there's no such thing called too much prayer, bro.
Okay, thank you.
No such thing called too much
Mama
prayer.
Kim Burrell.
Kim Burrell,
There's the
hello there,
homelessness out here in
legendary.
LA. There's so many people who are going through a divorce and foreclosure, homeless. They were living their best.
Who is Kim Burrell? Who's Kim Burrell? I don't know who Kim Burrell is. Hold on 1 second. Do y'all know who Kim Burrell is? Should I know who Kim Burrell is? I don't know who Kim Burrell is. Kim Burrell. Is she a singer? Singer, songwriter. Gospel singer. Songwriter. Okay. Sorry for the disrespect. I didn't know who that was. So singer, songwriter, gospel singer. All right.
Life. They got degrees on the wall. They got their whole family sleeping in sheds in downtown LA. And even if you're in mansions, the mental, emotional, and psychological warfare has been real for most of us. So this is my mama right here, and I just want her to bless everybody with a prayer. Don't crash closing your eyes driving, okay? But just receive this prayer from Mama Kim Burrell. Here we go.
Dear God, thank you. You're everything to us. You're everything through us. Without you, we are nothing. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your healing. Thank you for your protection. Thank you, dear God, for your guidance. For every person that sees and hears this, do more for them. Be more through them. Thank you for all things, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sister. Appreciate you. Thank you, Tyrese.
Man, like I said, I don't know how y'all feel about Tyrese. I don't know how y'all feel about maybe some of the things that he might have said or done or was involved in the past. But, the fact of the matter is we all have a past. We're all trying to figure this thing out. We're all trying to get closer to God. And the fact that he, took this platform and took this promotional run that he had on this is one of the biggest morning shows in Los Angeles. The fact that he, was bold in his speaking about Jesus Christ and was bold about exposing the devil in the industry, it says a lot. It says a lot. And, I think that we should keep praying that he continues to do that and that he continues to draw closer and closer to God. So let me know what y'all think. Get in my comments. Let me know what you think about this interaction, about this interview. And subscribe if you have not. Liked this video. I'm out, y'all.